So you've just pissed in my toilet. How does it feel?
Feels fantastic.
So big news.
It seems to have taken over the news cycle, hasn't it?
It has. The A-level sort of fiasco.
As much as I'm a man who's very much results don't mean that much, I understand how important it is for lots of people who've spent so much time, years and years of their life at a young age where you don't know anything different, putting so much effort into learning and going to school and working towards these exams, have the result of that just completely made up based on factors that are out of your control is an awful situation to be in.
I feel like it's really just put the last 2 years to waste because they didn't really validate what the teachers were saying about students, because at the end of the day, if you have a teacher for 1 or 2 years, that's better than a computer system.
It's so difficult, right? Because every set of students is completely different and learn in different ways, and also the curriculum and how human beings are learning is changing so dramatically year on year now because of the advancement of technology. So to backdate all of that information on them seems a bit unfair. When you're young, and like I said, that's all you've never known is like work towards a grade, that feels like it's what defines you. And then once you get past 21, I suppose, once people get out of that education system, they start to realise that grades don't define them, and it's so much more than that.
Everyone sat in a classroom writing essays on Shakespeare. That's not going to be a model of success for a lot of kids.
Not at all. It's such a weird one because it's obviously so easy for me to sit here and say you should just go and do your own thing and focus on your own thing, but it isn't as easy as that, and it's also not for everybody, right? And not everybody should just go and do their own business, they should start their own thing, because they shouldn't. And for a lot of people and for a lot of professions, grades are very important. Those things, it does matter, because it matters on a career level where you have to get certain grades to go to a certain university. It's just part of the journey. But what I said, and I put it on my LinkedIn on the results day, in media, in advertising, it's actually meaningless. And I do believe that, I stand by that. It is meaningless. It's not meaningless on the day, it is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. If you want to get a job in advertising, in media, marketing, grades will never, ever, ever, ever matter. There's so many different things that actually make a difference to marketing and advertising. I totally believe in the general school system, but then we just need to make more effort to future-proof this whole system that the world puts kids through, because we're not building the future how we want the future to be. We're building the future how we've wanted it for the last 50 years, and that's dying out.
And that is the title track of your first album. Would you consider A-level results an important thing in your life? Oh. Has anyone asked you in your professional life about your A-level results?
Never.
And do they matter?
Never ever. No, I don't think they do. But I think it also depends what profession you go into. Because I don't think it's helpful when, like, obviously it's a running joke that Jeremy Clarkson always is like, I didn't get any A-levels and I'm sat in my Bugatti or whatever. That's so few and far between. But I think it depends what industry you're going into.
Would you, interviewing someone, inquire about their exam results or pick apart what they got in there?
No, because I think it depends how much of a hard worker you are. If you work somewhere in like a finance role, it's more important because they can dwindle down applicants based on results, but we've never looked at it at Go.
Because it's about the personality?
Absolutely.
So what's your message to these students that are enraged at having...
I don't think it's helpful to be like, it doesn't matter, because obviously everything matters to them and it matters at the time, and obviously if it's stopping people going, like the stories of people who would have got into like Cambridge and now they won't, and they're from super underprivileged schools and like they would have been the first people to go, those stories are obviously like absolutely heartbreaking.
They will succeed in other ways, and I'm sure it will be rectified.
I need to stop a second. Just for that, I mean, honestly, a week ago I was sat barely clothed in my room because it was so hot. And now I'm wearing, there is a, what, I mean, it's like I come out of the airport.